It's such a lovely cloudy day here in Oregon. I'm really happy to be here with all y'all. It's nice to see you. Yay, it's Friday. Y'all know what that means. It's F Shit Up Friday. Yay! Although I've been reading all this stuff on net neutrality, which is not what I'm going to talk about today, like for the most part, but talking about how like bitch media can't write bitch because it's a swear word and it's not allowed is really bizarre to me because you can say it on TV and like you can call women that, but bitch media can't write out the word bitch. Like I guess apparently I can't write the F bomb or like I can't write fuck shit up Friday on my blog because that's naughty or something. I don't know. Hey James Kelly, how you doing? It's nice to see you. So anyway, I swearing on the internet. Um, and apparently women in lingerie. Very bad. So I'm super happy to be with y'all today. Um, I love Fridays for a number of reasons. I'm really excited because Jim and I like figured out this crazy way to make the internet actually work in my office. So I'm really happy about it because it means that I am no longer a pixelated, jumbled mess. So I'm really excited that we actually have decent internet in the upstairs of our house so I can sit in my beautiful office with all my beautiful things in the background. See, it's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, I'm really happy to have y'all here today. There's a couple of things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 12/12/17, which was the day that I got to see my girl Hillary again, and it was also the day that will live in infamy as the day that Doug Jones won in Alabama. So we're going to talk about that because I'm excited. Oh my God, a gigantic crow just flew in front of my face. That was crazy. Hey, Marianne, it's good to see you. How are you? Oh, I miss you so much. I wish we could like hang out and have whiskey. So thanks for being here. So anyway, I'm going to start first with the racism thing because I got to talk about racism. And hi, Lily. How are you? It's good to see you. So let's talk about Alabama for just a minute here. So on Tuesday, there was a special election in Alabama, and Doug Jones was running against Roy Moore, who is a professed pedophile. And this should have been in the world of, I don't know, everything that's right in the universe. This should have just been, I'm telling you guys, there are like 10 crows flying right above my head outside my window right now. It's a total trip. Anyway, there's a murder of crows outside my window. It's totally bizarre. So anyway, so on Tuesday there was this special election in Alabama, and in a place in my brain where when you find out that somebody preys upon little girls and they have this host of other problems, they're racist, they're sexist, they're homophobic, they're transphobic, they're all of these things that should just be a no-brainer, but it's not in many places in the country. And so a couple of things happened. Hi, Kat. How are you? And so a couple of things happened on Tuesday that were awesome. One of them was that by a very squeaky margin, Doug Jones beat out Roy Moore. And the reason the margin was squeaky is because in Alabama, they have taken a real hard line about voter suppression. And they're really big fans of suppressing people who and not giving people access to the polls. And so this could have been like one of the things I was saying to my friends was the vote was close, but imagine if people's votes wouldn't have been suppressed, it could have been huge. And imagine if they wouldn't have closed like 36 something DMVs in mostly African American neighborhoods so that people couldn't go and get their voter ID cards so that they couldn't vote. And so imagine for just a minute if people's votes wouldn't have been suppressed, what would have happened in Alabama and how big the margin would have been if they wouldn't have suppressed people's votes. And this is a really critical piece. I mention it in my blog, but there's a piece in the Washington Post about how if racist voter suppression was dealt with, like if we want to save America from people like Roy Moore, then we need to do something about voter suppression. And I think it's a really critical thing to talk about because Hi, Lori. How are you? I'm so glad you're here. I was like, hey, come over and like refresh your day from all the crap you've dealt with on Facebook. So thanks for coming. So, and in Alabama, so one of the things that happened right after the election was that all the numbers started coming out about how people voted. And I posted this on my blog as well, but I wanted, actually, I have a picture here that's on my blog. So, what happened in Alabama is that 96% of Black voters total voted for Jones, while 31% of white voters voted for Jones. And of course, there was the usual talk of, well, we can't vote for Doug Jones because he gives people choice, like women choice in their bodily autonomy, and that's why we didn't vote for him. But I think it's deeper than that, and I think it has to do with racism, and I think it has to do with the fact that there are a lot of us that sit here in our very privileged bubbles and don't remember that there is a very deep world out there. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine in Alabama, a Black woman in Alabama who's a friend of mine, and she was talking about how she really wants to figure out a way to address the racism in Alabama within the pastoral community, and we have been strategizing ways to do that, but it's still really complicated and really layered. And this really great article came out on Rewire about, so one of my friends said to me, my friend Carol was posted on Facebook, you know, if you want to think, y'all need to go out and hug a Black woman for Alabama, consensually hug a Black woman for Alabama, because we did this for all of you. And so, and then this came out, Just Say No Thanks to Thanks Alabama and Magical Negro Narratives, and it came out on Rewire, and I linked it in my blog, but this Cynthia Greenlee starts this article by saying, Black women are not the wet nurses for wannabe woke whiteness. Our politics are not new, magical, or here to serve white people. And I think this is a really incredible conversation for us to start having within our own circles of people and with the people that we are interacting with, and to really start talking about how there are all these voices in Trump's America. Like, it's Friday in Trump land, and we are dealing with all this. The tax bill still, you know, is something we can kill, and we've got net neutrality, and there's all these other things happening. And then we also need to talk about how that what Cynthia Greenlee says, our politics are not new, magical, or here to serve white people. And it's time for white people to start talking about, I think especially those of us who are feminist women, to start talking about how we can start dismantling this narrative and consider that there are all of these voices in these critical times that have got to be heard, and that many will come off as offensive, that we are shifting to another movement again. And we need to sit in this discomfort and kind of be there and not try and run away from how uncomfortable that it makes us feel. Because I think I've been having some really gorgeous conversations with some friends of mine privately, that have really opened my ability to see some things differently. And it's been really phenomenal. And I think that we need to keep having these conversations, whether they're private conversations or public conversations, and hopefully bring more of these conversations out into the sphere. And I really want to recognize that there was a historic day in Alabama, but it was also historic because it has once again provided us with the opportunity to peel away the layers of the racist onion and start looking at our own ways that we are racist, and start figuring out how we're going to build up communities all throughout the United States, not just in our own communities, but other places as well, and really address racism head on, because we have to. And we have to remember that if we want to sort of peel all of this apart, we have to start with our friends. And we have to start addressing how women are sexist and misogynist and racist when it comes to voting against their own interests and their own bodily autonomy. And we have to start having complicated conversations with people that are really difficult to have. And someone just posted on Facebook right before I came on live that it was actually Black evangelicals who who really carry the vote. And it's Black evangelicals consistently who carry the vote in the southern states. And the article talked about the difference between white evangelicals and Black evangelicals. And this is why I'm saying we have to have conversations with all different kinds of people, because this shit will not end. And if we don't have complicated conversations with people and try and help them see how their behavior affects everybody, the shit's not going to end. And so I'm hoping that you all will read these articles that are over on the blog, and that you will really like stir some shit and look at your own, the way you enact racism in your life, and really stir the pot with all the people in your world, because I think as a nation, we deserve that. And I think we need to have these conversations because they're really complicated, and we have to do it. And if we don't do it, then we're never going to do it, because once again, look, we've been afforded this opportunity to really dismantle all this bullshit, hopefully once and for all, but if not, make a good stab at it. So anyway, keep having the complicated conversations. The next thing I want to talk about, so I recapped my day on Tuesday because it was really awesome, not just because Doug Jones won. And by the way, I was at this event in Portland to see Hillary Clinton live with my friend Brenda Alley. Brenda and I have been seeing Hillary Clinton live since like 2010. Like here's the first time, right? Yeah, that was the first time. So Brenda and I have been seeing Hillary Clinton live for like 10 years. And so when Hillary Clinton was coming to Portland on her book tour, Brenda sent me a message and was like, do you want to go see her? And I was like, yes, I do. So the beauty was, there were all of us, I posted this on my Facebook page, but there were this auditorium of thousands of people waiting to see Hillary and consistently refreshing our phones to see if Doug Jones had won in Alabama. Hi, Brianna, how are you? So we were sitting there refreshing our phones consistently. Like the whole auditorium was lit up with its little phone while we were waiting for Hillary to come out. And all of a sudden, everyone hit refresh at exactly the same time. And then all of a sudden, the entire auditorium erupted in screaming. And it was incredible because it was the AP had announced, they called it for Doug Jones, and the whole auditorium started screaming. And then Hillary comes out like 2 minutes later, and the whole auditorium started screaming again. And she said, how about that, Doug Jones? And it was amazing. And it was like so phenomenal to be there in that moment with her. Because I kept saying to Brenda, I was like, she's going to come out and announce it. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, it was really a privilege. And I have to say this, I have really, especially with the primary and the election in 2016, I had, like a lot of people, I had been threatened and I had experienced a lot of crap for supporting Hillary Clinton. But I have been supporting Hillary Clinton since 1998. It was, Belinda, it was totally the funnest refresh moment ever. I mean, it was amazeballs. So anyway, I have been with Hillary Clinton since I was in high school. So since 1989, when I discovered her work with foster youth, that was when I fell in love with Hillary Clinton. And then she became the first lady. And that was really when I fell in love with Hillary Clinton, because at the time I was a preschool teacher, and when It Takes a Village came out, that was like this moment post high school where I was like, oh, somebody gets why I want to teach kids how to be awesome. And somebody understands the value of early childhood education. And wow, this book really resonates me. And that's where my deep, fond, divine love for Hillary Clinton comes from. And she has consistently just become my hero more and more over the years as the years have gone on. And my favorite part of Hillary Clinton is she is super flawed, just like I am. And I mean, I am a flawed person. And I often joke that I can't run for president because of all my skeletons. And many of you who are on this Facebook Live right now know all about my crazy ass skeletons. But she makes me believe that I can be the president. And part of what I love about her is that she is flawed. The other thing I love about her is she's talked about women running for office. And this is super exciting for me because I just developed this phenomenal kick-ass coaching program with my friend Melanie Childers, who her business is called The Enlightened Badass. So clearly we have to be friends. But we developed this coaching program for women who are running for office. So if they've already been trained, then they can go and we will coach them and help them really become the fierce candidate that they deserve to be. And there's more information about that on my website. But Hillary Clinton on Tuesday night was talking about all the stuff that Melanie and I have been talking about. So these are the top 10 things that I learned from Hillary on Tuesday night. And I posted them on my blog. But I'm going to read them to y'all because I'm really excited about it. And there is too much at stake for any of us to sit on the sidelines. There is too much going on for any woman in the United States of America to be sitting on the sidelines, and we have got to put our foot in the game. And it doesn't matter if we are putting in our foot in the game running as a candidate at the city level, county level, state level, or federal level, or for supporting women who are running for office. We have got to run or get one of our besties to run. We got to do it. The time is now. The only way we will get sexism out of politics is to get more women into politics. You can't win if you don't run. And this is like critical mass right now. If women step up, and Hillary talked about this, if women step up consistently and constantly over and over again in every election, not just waiting for the presidency, but in every single election, then we don't become the anomaly. The more women that run, the less we are the anomaly. And so if you've ever heard any of your friends talk about running for office, if you've ever thought about running for office, and yes, I'm walking my walk. I've been talking to my leaders here in Corvallis. I am going to run for office. I have been having the conversations about where I would best fit. I'm starting down that path. You all know you have to be part of my campaign. But I really think that she is just saying women have to step up and seize this opportunity to make this our moment. And also, she said, we must make women and Me Too an issue for all of our elected officials. Yes, Lori, we've got to reach critical mass to shift the tide in a different direction. It's totally true. It is time. So if we make women and Me Too an issue for all of our elected officials and tell them what it means to us, we can boost and elevate that conversation. So telling our city, county, state, and federal officials what Me Too means to us and how it's impacted our lives. And what that means that it becomes an issue for everybody, not just those of us who have been sitting in silence and are now finally feeling safe enough to speak up. And then she said, give yourself the gift of believing in yourself. Follow a path that you love and be confident enough to believe in you. She said that is the gift that she would give to her grandchildren, but I also think she meant to say it as a gift that we should give to all of us as women who are thinking about running for office or who are fighting for equality and justice and feminist principles and all of the things that we are fighting for. If we believe in ourselves and we follow the path that we love and are confident enough to believe in ourselves, then there is nothing that can stop us when we get knocked down and get back up. And that's another thing that Hillary Clinton said. She's like, everybody gets knocked down. What matters is if you get back up. My coach and my friend Susan Hyatt is constantly quoting Muhammad Ali because he is a hero of hers. And he always talks about what happens when you get knocked out. Do you get back up? And we're going to get thrown on the floor and we're going to get run over with a bus. And shit is going to hit the fan when we run for office. But if we don't fuck shit up by running for office, nothing is going to change. And we are the shift. And then the last thing she said is Hillary said, women are seen, she writes about this in her book too, women are seen unfavorably when we advocate for ourselves. Women are seen as unfavorable when we advocate for ourselves. But women are seen favorably when we advocate for others. So one of the things that I'm really trying to do with women is help women advocate for themselves and find that voice within themselves while they're simultaneously digging deep into their passion to make a difference in their communities. Because I think there is a really gorgeous space for us to be able to help women shift and how we think of women favorably and unfavorably. Yes, Belinda, advocating ourselves make people super uncomfortable because they think we're being egotistical or bitchy or snotty or whatever it is. But when we tap into our passion and we totally dig deep into that passion about what totally lights us on fire, then we are able to advocate for ourselves while simultaneously advocating for our communities. And it is just kick ass, the shift that can take place. And that's really what my hope is. It was the thing that inspired me the most about Hillary's talk that she gave on Tuesday. It was the thing that has inspired me the most about what is coming out in Twitter and Facebook and online about women who are really in their own voices advocating what is so critically important to them. These women are speaking out and they're saying super uncomfortable stuff, especially Black women. they're saying stuff that's making white women super uncomfortable, but it has to be said because we are the ones who are going to help shift this entire conversation, and it's falling on us, and it's really, really important. So I'm really excited that I got to see Hillary again on Tuesday. Jim, I posted a video on my Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page. Jim sent me a video of this little girl who gets a new kitten, and she's just sobbing. And Jim said, this is what you look like when you see Hillary Clinton, because it's true. Every time Hillary Clinton comes into a room, I just bawl like a baby and ugly cry. It is very unattractive. But I was able to hold it together all the way through this picture. And then I walked around the corner and started crying with my friend Brenda. So anyway, I just really, I put those 10 things that I learned on Tuesday night on my blog, and I hope you'll share them with other people, especially those 10 things. I don't care if you share anything else about my blog, except for the part where we have got to, there's two things, the voter suppression piece and the racist piece, and then the top 10 things I learned from Hillary, because those things are intricately tied together, because the more women run and the more women win, the more we will be able to deal with this gerrymandering voter suppression bullshit. I firmly, firmly, firmly believe that, because I don't think we're going to keep this going, because voter suppression and gerrymandering are tools of the patriarchy, and it is time to completely 100% dismantle the patriarchy. So I hope that you get inspired by the blog, you share the blog. You can go on patreon.com, birdgirl1001, and support the work that I'm doing. Also, check out my new coaching programs. They're super magical and amazing. And if you know anybody who's running for office that wants extra love and support from two kick-ass coaches, I have that information over on the blog as well and here on my Facebook page. And I love you all for joining me. And I just really want you to remember, it's Friday. So go fuck some shit up, y'all. Like, today's a good day for it.